showtime!
I've ranked characters based on their elemental skills, and I've also ranked them based on their elemental bursts, and based on popular demand, I am probably going to be also ranking them on their attacks and other things as well. However, before I do that, I actually just want to rank every character based on how much I like them, based on 3 categories. The first and most important category is gameplay. That is the single most important thing to me. A character can be dressed in mustard-stained rags and have the personality of Lightning from Final Fantasy XIII for all I care. If they have good gameplay, I will play them. And if they don't have good gameplay, well, they'll never see the light of day. Next up is their fashion slash aesthetic slash their design, which I will just be shortening to drip for simplicity's sake because I am lazy. And finally, their characterization slash personality, which is mostly weighted on how they interact with us in the open world and a little bit by their story quests if it was interesting enough for me to even care. For example, every time Kaching tells me to stop procrastinating, I want to dock her 1,000 points and just send her right into oblivion because I absolutely hate the way she acts in everyday gameplay. Gameplay is worth 10, the other 2 are worth 5, because again, gameplay is what matters to me the most, so the highest score a character can earn is 20 and the lowest is 3. In the case of a tie, gameplay will be the deciding factor. If they both have 15 but one has a 9 in gameplay and the other 8, the 9 is the winner. In the case of a complete tie, I'm just going to arbitrarily decide. I would love to go over every single character and say why they're where they are, but honestly there are 49 characters and I do not want to make this video an hour long. Not only do I not want to make that, but people probably don't want to watch that. Instead, I will go over the top 10 and the bottom 10 and maybe some other notable characters if I have something interesting to say about them, but I will show everybody where they are and their scoring. So enough of that, let's get on with the list. This one will be a shocker to all you people who accuse me of just being a Ningguang hater for the animation tier list for bursts, but no, Ningguang's actually one of my favorite characters to play, even if half the time, like a lot of the things from her bursts, like to just kill themselves on nearby walls and god forbid other geoconstructs. I think she is without a doubt one of the best looking 4-stars and honestly looks better than even most 5-stars. I was surprised when I saw she was a 4-star with how good her design is. Not the biggest fan of her rich girl rags to riches cold personality, but that's fine. You know, it's not the worst. Xiangling is a character that is carried by her burst. I am basically rating Pyro NATO here, at least in gameplay. For her personality, as much as I love her willingness to include like wacky ingredients in her cooking and how much it like freaks other people out, in actual gameplay that doesn't really come across and she just doesn't really have much. So not really much resonates with me there. And for her drip, I don't really like anything that's going on, and especially her eyebrows. Dear Lord, the eyebrows alone are enough to make me put her down to a 1. Even if you don't see them, I know they're there, and I don't like knowing they're there. Noelle was one of my original favorite characters. I loved her defense scaling. It really set her apart from everyone else, especially when we didn't even have like Xinyan at the time. As fun as it is smacking things with a giant geosword, it is also all she does. She just puts on her skill and then smacks things with her sword, which is really, really fun, but it has a little bit of diminishing returns, and a year into the game, it's not like 10 out of 10 fun anymore. It's hard to explain why I like Noelle's personality so much, and honestly, it might just be pure bias. She's kind of a little bit of a workaholic, and that's honestly something I rail on Kaching for all the time. I absolutely hate it, but she's kind of insufferable about it. Noelle, on the other hand, is just really nice, and she just likes to work hard. I don't know, you can just chalk this up to bias, but her outfit, she's one of the few characters that actually wears armor, and I love that. It may be like also a maid outfit, but she's also got legitimate metal armor on, and that's awesome. Sayu, as you can tell by the scoring, is a character I just feel overall very middling about. Sure, I might be able to relate to her eternal state of sleep deprivation and wanting to avoid responsibilities and work at all costs, but that doesn't mean I have to love it. Her outfit, again, great, like it looks good, but I don't love it. I don't hate it. Just, again, very average. I feel bad I have so little to say about her, but she's fun as a taxi at least, which is really where her gameplay score is coming from, because otherwise I hate playing her. Me like Razor. Razor good. Razor attack fast. Me like attacking fast. Seriously though, Razor's a ton of fun. He was my original main on my original account, which is now my alt. I was drawn to his simplistic feral nature, and I stayed for the crazy wolf aesthetics, shiny flashy lightning, and super fast attacking with a heavy claymore. I wish he didn't have green pants, but it's not a big deal. I do think they look fine. I just think he would look a little bit better with brown or black or gray or something along those lines. I can already hear the torches lighting and the pitchforks clanging together, and I know it's because you don't see a 5 out of 5 on the drip, and let me tell you why. It's one simple reason. It is the headband. You may like this thing. In fact, I saw support in it just looking it up online to see if I was about to insult something traditional or some kind of ceremonial headpiece that is based off of Japanese history. But then I ultimately decided I do not care. If it is historical, if it is traditional, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean I have to appreciate the way it looks. I think it looks dumb, and it really drags down Toma's appearance for me. Other than that, I think his personality is absolutely great. He is one of the best characters in this game in terms of likability and gameplay. Unfortunately, that's where he really falls short. I can get past the low damage, but outside of being a shield, he really has little to no impact on anything that's going on. I firmly believe that if you hate Hu Tao's personality, you must actually be a psychopath, and you're not even hiding it, you were just open about it, because honestly, Hu Tao is just a lot of fun. What is not to love about a funeral parlor owner who is just really enthusiastic about selling coffins to living people? She's kind of the exact opposite of what you would expect someone who's surrounded by death for a job on a daily basis would be. Hu Tao doesn't let that keep her down. She is a very happy-go-lucky prankster who also happens to hit like a nuke. A nuke that hits about once every second. The only reason I don't give her a 10 out of 10 is because I'm not really a big fan of the charge canceling, whether it be from the C1 or the C0. As for Drip, I love her muted colors. The only thing I don't love are the short shorts. I think she would look a little bit better with something else, but I don't know what else. I just want something different. I'm sure everyone was expecting this. Maybe not having Chi-Chi so high, I guess, because people might have expected her to be dead last. But Chi-Chi is a perfect example of why I have gameplay weighted so heavily. For some people, they might tie the cuteness or the personality of Chi-Chi into the fun they have playing her because they just like playing as the character they love the majority of the time. However, as I stated in the beginning, nothing else matters to me than the actual gameplay, what the character does. And well, that's why Chi-Chi's down here for me. I absolutely hate her gameplay, not only from a balance and meta perspective, but also just in terms of fun. I don't like her burst, I don't like the way she heals, I don't like her skill, I don't like her long cooldowns, I don't like the lack of energy generation, and I do not like her attacks, nor would I ever want to use her as a physical attacker. If you do, that is fine. I always say play the way you want to play, but the way I want to play is without Chi-Chi. Though, as you can see, I love everything else about Chi-Chi other than her gameplay. I think she's a top-notch character in terms of design and looks and just everything else about her. She's hard not to love. Besides loving Shenna's story quest and her just inherent like sociopathic nature, I like the darker tone her personality kind of has over everyone else and her just like genuine misunderstanding of I don't know, morality and law. Really gives her that like you never know when she's gonna kill somebody factor, you know? And I respect that. I think she has a fantastically elegant design. They used color very effectively on her. Not only is the contrast between the light and dark colors very well done, but the highlights with the red and gold are also very nice touches. But most importantly to me is her effect on gameplay and how she affects new builds. She makes a lot of cryo characters potentially viable, and she will continue to have a heavy impact on every cryo character who lands in the game from here onward. Hell, sometimes even non-cryo characters with the help of Chongyun and fast attacking characters, like in the case of like Zhongli. And in a laughably stark contrast to Shenhe, we have Bennett, possibly one of the most stale designs we have. Sure, I, like most people, enjoy putting Bennett in teams and just seeing the massive damage numbers he creates and the just sheer state of invincibility he bestows upon you just by putting his thumbs up on the ground. That doesn't really make him interesting though. Sure, he does create some fun gameplay and he's part of a lot of fun teams. Not only is he part of it, but he is an integral member. But that doesn't mean I have to enjoy playing him, even if I do use him in every Spiral Abyss ever, pretty much. I love the whole shtick that he's got horrible luck and that he doesn't let it get him down. He is a ever-shining ray of positivity despite all the crap that happens to him, and honestly, how can you not love that? That being said, he's still low on my list. Look, Raiden loves sweets, and I also love sweets. Sweets are great, and she can't cook, and well, let's just say I don't have the most experience either. So on the personality level, I can relate a little bit. Her design is absolutely gorgeous. I love purple, they used it very well on her. And most importantly, gameplay. God damn is it fun to use her burst. It really never gets old. Not only do you get the gigantic nuke in the beginning, but you also just get a really badass stance for about 6 seconds. Aloy is a character that I believe you actually have to have an investment in Horizon Zero Dawn to have really an appreciation for her, because obviously in Genshin, there's basically nothing to make you like her. So with my apologies to the Horizon fans, I hate her personality and her looks. I do not care. Gameplay, on the other hand, pretty solid. If not for the internal cooldown issue on the skill, she'd be a lot of fun to play. But because of that, I kind of dock her major points for consistency issues. Beto is like the definition of badass. Girl killed a damn Leviathan before she even had a vision. So she can kill a Leviathan, seduce Ningguang, break your rocks for you, kill all the enemies. The only thing this girl can't do is get her own burst back. Her gameplay is seriously fun though. I love the parry, I love being rewarded for skill, and Genshin honestly doesn't do enough of that. If there was some way to fuse her with Electro like with Chongyin or C6 Bennett, goddamn I would play her as a main DPS all day long and she would be a 10 out of 10. Right now, she just kind of does her thing and gets off the field. Goro's visual design may be fantastic, but I'm really not a big fan of his dog-like personality. Sure, those are great qualities to have, but they are qualities that I don't particularly care for in a person. Where he really loses massive points though is the gameplay, where he is just a Geo defense Bennett without the option to be fun, because Bennett at least has C4 and some variations of his skill to use. Old Kazuhu manages to be one of the most fun characters in the entire game with just a single skill. Not only does he just have way more control than all the other Animo characters combined, because you get to CC exactly where he is, and you're not subjected to Genshin's bullshit auto-targeting system, but he's also a blast to play with exploration. For a lot of you Kazuha skippers, you're probably going to learn very soon that you never ever want to have a party without Kazuha in it ever again. He also looks great, and I do love his laid-back wanderer personality, but that's really all I have to say about that, because I want to keep this short. Look, some people may be swayed by Diona's cuteness, but I am not. I see behind that and see the angsty little grumpy teenager child that she is, and I am not a fan of that trope. I think she has her redeeming moments, sure, like most characters, but I think the bad outweighs the good here, so I give her a 2 in that regard. Her outfit is very middling to me. I don't really have anything to say about her. Gameplay is boring as hell, but it's a little bit more fun than the other healers, so I don't know. I give her at least a 3. One of only 2 characters I gave a perfect score to, and you bet your ass it's Yoimiya. Like, come on. Can you honestly say you would not love to have a friend like Yoimiya? She quite possibly has the best personality in this entire game, like hands down. The asymmetry in her design really makes me appreciate it over the fact that it's a little bit more revealing than I would like designs to be, but honestly, it's an anime gacha game, like, you gotta expect it. Many may find her auto-attack pew-pew playstyle very boring because you literally just spam the crap out of your attack button, but I love it. I love attack speed and I love attacking with the bow, and Yoimiya is really the only character that officially supports it. Straight and to the point here. Travelers, personality. What personality? They don't have one. Design. I hate Lumine. Anyone who joins my Discord knows that probably very well by now. Sorry not sorry to the Lumine players. Aether's design isn't bad. It's not great. I will rate the score based on Aether's. As for gameplay, I'm not a fan. I do like Geo a little bit just because of the rock, but that's really it, and that's not enough to earn much of a rating. So gameplay, really lacking there. This should not be a surprise to anybody, new or old viewers alike. 1, he is my intro, and 2, I talk about him all the time about how much I love him. Ito is the best. I believe his personality really shines through his actual gameplay more than literally any other character. Unlike most characters, I never get tired of his idols. No matter how many times I hear them, I don't think, man, I want to turn off my dialogue. Like, unlike some characters where I hear it once and I'm immediately done with it. I love his more masculine and like more, at the same time, eccentric design compared to like most other male characters in this game. It really makes him stand out. Sure, it sucks that they gave him the noodle arm treatment and he's not as buff as we thought he might be, but that doesn't stop him from throwing Ushi 1,000 miles an hour into enemies' faces and hitting them for like 200,000 damage. His gameplay is so fun to me. Like, I love the ebb and flow of it, especially once you get his C2. It never gets old. I'm always looking forward to any reason to use Ito. And yeah, I love him. He's my favorite character, absolute favorite, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon. There are some people who rival him in gameplay, but overall as a character, no, he's my favorite. Yoimiya is a close second. Last and well, least we have Barbara. In regards to Genshin, I do not have the fondest feeling for people who just heal. She may be able to apply hydro like a garden hose that's set to the mist setting from 10 feet away, but that is honestly not very useful. She can't generate energy, she does fuck all for damage, so honestly she's just very, very boring to play, and I honestly have nothing really great to say about her personality or her looks. They're both like mediocre. You may like her personality, there's nothing wrong with that, it's very subjective, but to me she's very plain very boring, not a very interesting character. And now I will try to breeze through everyone else as fast as possible to keep this short. Xiao, love him, great gameplay, kinda emo, a little bit annoying. Yay Miko, great overall, love her. Ganyu, always one of my favorite units, love her. Gameplay does get a little bit stale, but that's fine. Klee, fantastic characterization. Child, really fun gameplay, I hate his suit. Yunjin, overall, again, very solid, very fun gameplay, love the counter. Venti, fun gameplay, love the drunken personality. Mona, broke, very relatable. Fischl, hilariously delusional. Kaya, inherited an eye patch and I love it, really cool design. And now we will pause for a moment. I cannot express enough how much I hate Keqing's in-game personality. When you're idling with her, when you're playing with her, she is an insufferable workaholic that I just want to make shut up forever. Other than that, the gameplay is fantastic. They nailed it, although sadly she's a little bit weak. Ayaka, much the same. Love the design, hate her personality. It's like a vanilla ice cream cone became a human being. Great gameplay. Eula, love the gameplay, hate her obsession with vengeance. Kokomi, same thing, kind of boring bookworm, good gameplay, beautiful design. This is Rosaria's rating for her original skin, Xinyan. Amazing characterization, amazing design, just gameplay is kind of lacking. And here is where we pause again. It truly pains me to put Ayato this low because his gameplay is so far some of the most fun I've ever had in Genshin. I absolutely love it, but I hate his snooty rich kid attitude. I do like his design, but really only from the front, and unfortunately I always see the back. If it were gameplay alone, he would be like top 3 easily. Xingqiu, very fun, stupid shorts, as always. Yanfei's decently fun with a good personality. Zhongli, not really a huge fan of the gameplay, love his personality, design's pretty damn good. Lisa, gameplay's lacking. Diluc, not a fan of the Grump or the all-black edgelord. Amber, really cool personality, gameplay, meh. Love Jean's fencer armor, a little bit boring gameplay. Albedo, fantastic in everything but gameplay. Kujasara, not a fan of the seriousness, good gameplay. Chongyun, average, Sucrose, and she's fun-ish. I'm sorry if you want to hear more about your favorite character, but there's like 49 characters if I split the Travelers apart, and I can't spend a minute on everyone. That would be almost an hour long, and that is absurd. This is already pretty long as is for my standards, but I hope you enjoyed. Remember to check out the tier list for skills and bursts for both 4 and 5 stars if you haven't already, because this list will give a little bit of context of those, I guess, and future lists that I make, which will probably be attacks and maybe splash arts. I'm really up for rating anything, to be honest, if there's interest for it. Remember, this is all very subjective, so if my opinion is different than yours, that's because, well, I'm a human being and we differ. You know, some people love the color blue, some people hate the color blue. Sometimes I'm also not the best at articulating why I like things, especially in a short amount of time. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, comment down below. What are your opinions on the list? What did you hate? What did you like? Maybe an opinion of mine made you just absolutely despise me. Regardless of what it is, I would like to hear it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.